will come, Ray. The one constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win.
Now the 2-1. Line drive to the base hit. Justice has scored the tying run. Green to the plate. And he is safe. Safe at the plate. The Braves go to the World Series.
Have reserved seats somewhere along one of the baselines that sat when they were children and cheered their heroes.
Gibson swings and a fly ball to deep right field. This is gonna be a home run. Unbelievable!
A 3-run home run for Bucky Denton. The Yankees now lead it by a score of 3-2.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mazeroski has hit a 1-0 pitch over the left field fence at Ford Field to win the 1960 World Series.
They'll arrive at your door as innocent as children, longing for the past.
The Pope arrived at Yankee Stadium. As one enthusiastic announcer put it, he is standing on second base.
Reggie Jackson. Long drive right field. It is goodbye. Big World Series. The Blue Jays are World Series champions as Joe Carter hits a 3-run home run.
Rack and roll. There's a left back. It's going to be, I believe, the Giants from the Pillars. The Giants from the Pillars. The Giants from the Pillars.
The 0-1 pitch. A liner off Nagy's glove into center field. The Florida Marlins have won the World Series.
The memories will be so thick that I can brush them in their faces.
The 1-0 delivery to Fisk. He swings, long drive, left field. If it stays fair, it's gone. Home run. The Red Sox win. And the series is...
Lolich fires. Ball is hit high in the air. This should be the series. Freehand waving. Everybody win. Foul territory. Detroit wins. Here's the pitch to Willie.
Baseball to mark the time.
The Oakland A's take. I'll tell you what, we're having an earthquake.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Candlestick Park for Game 3 of the 1989 World Series.
It's been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again.
Frank Robinson, the right-hand batter.
Long drive to left field. Way back. Yes, it's been back.
Base hit loaded, one out. Pena in a chance. The Twins are gonna win the World Series. The Twins have won it.
Ozzie with one out. Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run. And the Willie Mays just brought this crowd to its feet with a catch, which must have been an optical illusion to a lot of people.
This field, this game, is a part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good, and it could be again.
Broadcasted live.
Hey! Who wants to have some fun?
There are balls coming from all over the place. Left field, center field, right field. See, this is the kind of thing, quite honestly, right now, that makes you want to see the Chicago Cubs team lose.
Now, you just saying you want to have fun, or do you really want to have fun?
It'll be fun.
Will the next person that sees anybody throw anything onto this field, point them out, and get them out of here. You don't live in Cleveland. You live in Cincinnati.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
That is the farthest thing in the universe from the truth.
Hello, everyone, live. It's the Dan Scott Show. And right there is your host, Dan Scott.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Friday edition of the program. I am your host, Dan Scott. Good to have you with us on a little bit of an overcast day. Not too bad from a temperature standpoint, but regardless, we are here. It's always nice in the studio, and just happy to have you along with us. It's going to be an abbreviated show today for reasons which I will get into in just a moment, also, which will explain why we're not here on Wednesday. You see that little thing, a quick personal message down at the bottom. That's going to be part of that here in just a minute. And I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere, which may upset some people. I don't know, but just bear with me. We'll get to it in a minute. But I just do want to spend a little bit of time this morning kind of reviewing some things, previewing some things that are upcoming, and taking an opportunity then to check out of here and get some bearings back about us and start moving forward into the next couple of weeks, and all that explanation will be coming up in just a moment. Last night, Furman's men's basketball team went on the road, completing the 2-game road trip at Auburn, and dropped an overtime decision, 81-78, missed by just that much of another win over a Final Four team. Remember, got 2 of them last year, including the win over the defending champs Villanova at the time, and came close to another one last night. And in fact, had a 14-point lead at one juncture in the second half and could not hold it. And Auburn rallied, forced the game into overtime. And, the Villanova game, and I don't have any hard stats with me to back this up. I'm just going on feel here. And I could be totally wrong, which would not be all that unusual, I know. But just going on feel here, I feel like last year's Villanova game was the exception rather than the rule, and not just because Furman won it, but because they won it on Villanova's home court in overtime. I've been doing this for a while now, and an underdog going on the road, having a chance to upset the higher-ranked team, or in this case, a Final Four team from a year ago out of a Power 5 conference, Southeastern Conference versus SoCon, the chances of you winning a game like that in overtime, again, this is just me going by feel, usually aren't very good. And that's why last year's Villanova game, I thought, stood out even more than it did in or would have in under normal circumstances. And I'll give you just an example out of the Southern Conference going back about 3 years, when Furman and ETSU were kind of battling with UNCG for the top of the league, and Furman goes to East Tennessee State in a just a massive game late in the season, with first place on the line, or chance to stay in that race for first place in the league and get the number 1 seed. And you may remember the game, John Davis III hit a 3 that actually sent the game to overtime, but Furman was unable to win it in the extra period. It was almost as if ETSU said, okay, we played the way we played, we withstood the onslaught. They didn't get us in regulation, and now we move on and we'll get them in overtime, and that's what happened. Now, in this league where 2 teams are equals, it may not have the same kind of ring to it, but you kind of feel like that's what Auburn was thinking last night when they snuck the foot out of the trap and got into overtime. What happened? When overtime started, quick run, and they took control of the game. Now, the Paladins rallied and took it right down to the wire again. But it was almost like Auburn, once they got into the extra period, was able to step back, take a deep breath, and say, okay, they had their chance, and they didn't get it done. That's why, again, I think the Villanova game a year ago kind of felt even more out of the ordinary than it would have, because you go into a Power 5 situation, or in Villanova's case, not a Power 5, but the defending national champions, and you don't get it done in regulation on their home floor, but you beat them in overtime on their home floor. I just don't get the sense that happens a lot in these things. It doesn't happen a lot anyway. A school Furman size going into a Power 5 or a defending champ out of the AAC and winning regardless, I think the chances probably go down even further when you get to overtime. So I think Auburn probably had a little bit of a sense of relief there when that happened. And then, along the way, although it had, from a point standpoint, it had no bearing on the game. Don't know what would have happened had the call stayed and Furman had gotten the immediate possession rather than Auburn missing 2 free throws. But we had another situation last night where an officiating crew makes a correct call on a play. It goes to replay review, and the replay official overturns it in favor of the Power 5 team. Go back to football season in week 3, Furman and Virginia Tech, and the Paladins score to make it a 24-17 game and recover an onside kick. There were no flags thrown on the play, and the replay official decided he thought he saw something, he wanted to look at it, and then went back and retroactively instituted a penalty on Furman for downfield blocking before the ball was touched, which, as we watch the replay, you can see that call was absolutely bogus. Well, fast forward to last night, a ball that is clearly tipped out of bounds. You can see the ball change directions. You're going to see it here in just a moment. You're going to hear the SEC Network officials just flabbergasted that A, it was reviewed, and B, it was turned over. And you're going to see the Auburn players laughing at the end because they know they got protected in their own house by a Southeastern Conference replay official. Watch this, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
What? They said it did not go off?
No.
Oh, wow.
How'd they miss that?
Oh, wow.
Because first of all, I was shocked they even reviewed it. It was plain as day in live action.
Oh,
watch it
right here.
23.
Right there, thumb, ball changes trajectory. That thing was going dead out in the dead corner. Instead, it moves 15 feet up the line. Unfortunate, because Furman has earned the right to finish this game between the lines.
So did you see the ball change trajectory, change directions? Clearly change directions because it was deflected by the Auburn player and go out of bounds. The replay official looked at that video that we just saw from that angle, among others, I'm sure, and determined that there was clear and overwhelming evidence to overturn that call, to say that ball was not touched by an Auburn player. Now think about that just for a second. You and I watched that. The replay, or the SEC Network announcers watched that. Everybody in the building watched that and knew that the referees got the call right, and the replay official goes in and overturns it. And again, here's the thing. You've got 2 options, or 3 options as a replay official. Number 1, the call is confirmed, and that means there was clear video evidence to support the call that was made on the field, or in this case on the court, which is what that should have been. There is then the call stands, which means there was not clear evidence to support it, but there was also not clear evidence to overturn it. And then, of course, there is a reversal in which there was clear, indisputable evidence to overturn the call that was made on the court. the only two options that this replay official had were confirmed, and much less of an option stands. I mean, how you can look at that video and not say that ball hit the Auburn player's hand, the thumb, and changed directions is beyond me. So the only two options he really had were confirmed, ball goes to Furman, or stands and the ball goes to Furman. And yet somehow he took option number 3, as I get myself back on camera here. He took option number 3 and said from that video that we just watched, there was clear, indisputable evidence that the Auburn player did not touch that basketball, and overturned that call and gave the ball to Auburn. Now you figure that. What you have here is an SEC school back in September, an ACC school in football, with a replay official in the house or in Greensboro or in wherever they may be housed, protecting its investment. There's no other explanation for it. Now, did that single play have a bearing on the outcome of that game? And I think you can make the argument that no, it did not. But that's not the case. In the football example, it very well could have had a direct outcome or a direct impact on the outcome and result of that game. Because if the call of the recovered onside kick stands like it should have, Furman has the ball with just under 2 minutes to go, with all the momentum, having just scored a touchdown, down 24-17, and a chance to drive it less than half the field for a game-tying touchdown at Virginia Tech in the waning moments of that game. That one did have an impact on the possible outcome of that game. This one, you can more argue perhaps a momentum change, because if that call goes to Furman, Furman gets to inbound the basketball, maybe goes right down and scores. We don't know. We'll never know what happened. As it turned out, Auburn goes to the line, and I believe if the sequence is correct, missed 2 free throws. So it didn't cost points, but it did cost flow of the game. And it's just beyond me how we see this time and time and time again when it comes to replay officials watching something that is indisputable, absolutely 100% indisputable, and still making the wrong call. Now, I'm not going to sit here and throw out words like cheat. I'm not going to sit here and throw out those kind of accusations. I'm not that much of a conspiracy theorist. But if you ask me in the heart of hearts of someone at the SEC network or the SEC office who is making that call, is there somewhere in the back of their mind the idea of protecting the investment of a Power 5? I would say yes. I would say that thought is in there somewhere, and they are therefore doing everything they can, overanalyzing and you know, whatever. The problem is the thing is absolutely bogus. That call was bogus. The onside kick retroactive penalty at Virginia Tech was bogus, and you have Power 5 schools again skirting possible upsets. And to me, all you need to know from that, and watch this at the beginning again, watch the Auburn players' reaction as that announcement is made. Watch this.
What? They said it did not go off?
No.
Oh, wow.
How'd they miss that?
Oh, wow.
Because it was...
Even the coaches know that they got away with one. They were laughing about the fact that in their own house, they got that call overturned when there was clear video evidence to support the call that was made. To me, If this is how replay is going to be adjudicated, then we just need to scrap it and throw it out. I would rather live with the human errors that are made during the course of a game than to live with the use of technology that is incorrectly applied or applied with prejudice. And I think that's what we've seen here last night. I think that's what we saw in Blacksburg back in September. All right, I'm going to step out for a break. We're going to come back. We'll talk about what is coming up for Furman basketball, finally returning home for a Sunday matchup, and the first of 3 straight home games, which also includes the first of the 3 games at the Well downtown. We'll talk about that on the other side. This is a Dan Scott Show, and we'll return in just a moment.
Hey, everybody, Dan Scott here, and I want to tell you about my technology partner, Carolina Creative Group. When my show needed a creative technology boost, I turned to Carolina Creative Group. My custom design website is going to take marketing as well as brand strategy and development to new levels. The search engine optimization means that my clients' ads will be seen by more people more often. And if I have any questions, Carolina Creative Group is just a phone call away. Friends, that is just the tip of the proverbial iceberg. You can find out all the ways that Carolina Creative Group can help your business by simply calling 864-250-2012. Again, that's 864-250-2012, or simply visit them online at carolinacreative.co. Carolina Creative Group, technology partner of the Dan Scott Show.
Imagine a university. A university where your passion for protecting local water sources is encouraged. And now, your work not only benefits your career, but the health of those in your community and around the world. This is Furman. This is the Furman Advantage.
If you're looking for auto repair, you want superior work, not inferior parts and worse, inferior pricing. Hi, this is Dan Scott. I take all of my business to Superior Auto Care. That's Chris Burkett at 410 Ross Avenue in Easley. He brought my wife's car back from the dead. There's no other way to say it. For 4 months, it had been sitting with a major transmission issue. Chris was able to diagnose it along with some other problems and get it back and running again. Mrs. Scott is happy, and guys, you know how it is. Happy wife, happy life, right? Well, he can do it all for you, from the simple things like oil changes, brake service, air conditioning service, tires, to major engine and transmission work, even electrical work. Works on domestic cars as well as foreign cars. Again, they're located at 410 Ross Avenue. That's Superior Auto Care. Give them a call today at 864-306-1988. Superior Auto Care in Easley.
Let me tell you something, Cowboy. This rookie can really bring the heat.
He's smoky and spicy with a Chipotle style all his own.
It's a new Montgomery Inn Chipotle barbecue sauce. Make it a part of your home team.
Available now at your neighborhood grocer or online at CincyFavorites.com.
Dan Scott here for Todaro Pizza. Some of you may remember my old radio show in Clemson. Todaro Pizza was a sponsor of mine from the earliest days of the show. And if you know anything about me when it comes to advertising restaurants, if I don't like the food, I ain't going to tell you to go there. I love Todaro Pizza, and now Clemson's Best Pizza has finally come to Greenville. Yes, the new Todaro location is located at 116 North Markley Street, right down the block from Fluor Field. Classic, specialty and stuffed pizzas, calzones, wings, and so much more. The No Limit Lunch Buffet is available 7 days a week for just $8. Monday night is cheap pizza night, and you can try your hand at trivia every Thursday. Todaro Pizza has outdoor dining on Markley. It's open late, making it a convenient stop before or after the drive games. Find them on Facebook or online at TodaroPizza.com. Todaro Pizza 864-603-3500.
For a child battling a critical illness, a wish come true can be a turning point. One song, one dance, one game, one moment changes everything. Make-A-Wish needs your support to grant more life-changing wishes. Visit Make-A-Wish online now. Together, we can transform lives, one wish at a time.
Dan Scott here for the Atlanta Bread Company. What do I like about Atlanta Bread? Well, too much to mention in a short commercial, but here are a few things. Bread baked daily fresh on site, a tremendous selection of soup, sandwiches, and salads, seasonal special additions to the menu, delicious hot coffee, and a bevy of other drink options. And yeah, can't forget about the baked sweet goodies. Dine in or carry out, and when you have the Atlanta Bread Company app, you can order and pay online, then breeze past the lines to the pickup counter to get your food. Experience it for yourself. That's the Atlanta Bread Company, Cherrydale Point in Greenville. If you're looking for a unique dining experience in the Clemson area, let me suggest Four Paws American Pub, where they have specials like Carolina popcorn, a freshly battered fried okra, which is the hottest selling appetizer and side item in the upstate, or the Bulldozer, the signature burger featuring a fried green tomato, Four Paws pimento cheese and bacon with a smoky house aioli, or you can build your own burger or a fresh green salad from a large selection of toppings. And they also have the teriyaki salmon pan-seared over rice or a bed of green salad. Enjoy terrific food at Four Paws American Pub in Clemson. You can enjoy local recipes while watching games on the TVs or relaxing with your pup on the dog-friendly patio. Come to Four Paws, located on Highway 93 in front of the Courtyard Marriott, or call 654-5151 to order for carry-out and tailgating. You need to make tracks to Four Paws American Pub. All right, we are back. It is the second segment of the show. It's going to be a little blah, 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 blah. He said a little bit abbreviated today, and I'll be explaining why coming up here in just a moment. But I just want to take a quick moment to, well, first of all, it's interesting. As I went on my little rant a moment ago, I got some amens from the choir and everybody else. Got a note from Brett Harker. I didn't ask him if I could read it, so I won't. But in the Facebook comments section, Scott Keeler said, Villanova had no home cooking last year. That was a difference last night, period. He said that call didn't make a difference. It was just a cherry on top of a rotten cake. Furman's 27 fouls, the most they've committed in a game in 3 years, which resulted in its three tallest players fouling out, was the difference. Ken Cothran, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it probably is a duck. And then Andrea said, quoting the TV guys, Furman has earned the right to finish this game. And then my friend Bill Lanham from over at Four Paws said it was a bad call favoring Auburn. Strange calls seem to happen over and over again on the Plains. Now the task for Furman is to put that behind him and move on. And that moving on begins on Sunday at 2 p.m. here at Timmons Arena. And Martin Normington, I agree with you. I got to find out who scheduled this game in the middle of the Battle of Ohio. The Bengals and Browns are playing Sunday, and that may only make a difference for a couple of us. But you know what? My loyalty is with Furman. I'll be there calling that game with Bryant Lambert, and the Paladins will take on USC Upstate at 2 p.m. First of 3 consecutive games inside the next week for the Paladins. This one on Sunday, Wednesday at home against North Greenville, and then on December the 14th, the first of the 3 weekend at the Well games against Winthrop downtown at 6 p.m. So we are drawing ever closer to getting that spectacle underway. I can't wait. I really can't. I'm looking forward to getting into that arena and playing under those lights, if you will, in an arena that will host conference and NCAA tournaments over the next years, and getting an opportunity to see Furman basketball returning to its roots, moving back downtown for a limited portion of the schedule, and playing those big games at Bon Secours Wellness Arena beginning on the 14th. We need a big crowd here on Sunday at 2 p.m. against USC Upstate. Hope that you can come. It's between church services, which is what I'll be doing. I'll go in the morning and come here and do the game. So we just hope to have a big crowd and get this basketball team headed back in the right direction, looking for a strong finish to the non-conference. Because after this one, the team plays its conference open until January 1st, New Year's Day 2020, on the road at VMI in the next conference game. So you've got a long stretch. I believe I've got that right. Let me go back and double-check the schedule here and make sure that I've got that correct, because I don't want to leave out anything if there is something else in there. But I do know that you've got USC Upstate, North Greenville, and Winthrop. And then, Mercer on December 20th and VMI on January the 1st. So it'd be 6 days between Winthrop and Mercer, and then 12 days between Mercer and VMI. So the opportunities to see this team are going to be a little fewer and further between because of the Christmas schedule that is coming up. But you've got 3 straight days or 3 straight games. Sunday against USC Upstate, Wednesday at home against North Greenville, and then downtown on Saturday, December the 14th, against Winthrop in the first of the games, the weekend at the Well. By the way, if you want to get your tickets to the weekend at the Well, you can get single game tickets or you can buy the whole 3-game package. Just go to FurmanPaladins.com, visit the ticket portal. You can do it there. If you would like to bring a group of 20 or more, you get a discount on the tickets. The group rate is $14 flat. That includes all the Ticketmaster fees and everything. If you'll shoot me an email, dan.scott@furman.edu, I can get you headed in the right direction. That'll actually get you that $14 rate per ticket and save you some of the other fees that might have been associated. If you do it through us, you're going to save a little bit of money. That's how we got you to that $14 point. So dan.scott@furman.edu is my email address. Please send just send me an email, and I'll get you pointed in the right direction to get your group of 20 or more in the building. We want to get that place packed. And I'm telling you what, this Winthrop team that is coming in, it is a team that beat St. Mary's, which is a perennial top 25 team, and it's a good basketball team. This has been a good matchup every year for Furman. It's been a fun basketball game. So you're going to want to catch that weekend at the Well. That is on the 14th. We have got a game coming up on Sunday, though, here at Timmons Arena. It's 2 o'clock, USC Upstate, and we'd love to have you there. Tickets available again at FurmanPaladins.com. All right, one more break, and then we'll come back, and I'm going to share a little bit of personal stuff with you, kind of give you a little bit of a schedule preview, and we'll wrap up an abbreviated edition of today's show. This is the Dan Scott Show, and I'll be back in just a moment. Hey everybody, Dan Scott. You know, I've been telling you for some time now that I switched the protection of my home and family to Security Complete. I can tell you that I've been ecstatic with the results. Locally owned with more than 40 years experience in the industry, Security Complete uses nothing but the latest technology, which equals low overhead, which equals greater savings to the customer. Fully automated systems with monitoring rates much lower than the competition. Security Complete gives you all this and does not require a contract of any length. Find out more by calling 864-546-0630 or find them on Facebook and Twitter. Security Complete, my first line of defense. Make them yours today.
We're all trying to find our way, forge a path, blaze a trail. The work is hard and the work is personal, but you can't do it alone. At Furman, we're committed to giving you an advantage. The Furman Advantage. We know that graduates who are emotionally supported and who have deep learning experiences in college are 3 times as likely to be engaged at work and thriving in life. At Furman, all students are guaranteed 4 years of rigorous classroom education integrated with high-impact research, internships, study away, and a community of support every step of the way. This is the Furman Advantage.
Is your roof leaking or damaged? Do your gutters need repaired? You can Google roofing companies until your computer overheats, or you can simply call the best, Bracken Roofing and Gutter. Whether it's roof replacement, new and remodel installation, roofing insurance claims, whatever your needs, Bracken Roofing and Gutter will simply do it right the first time. And the same goes for gutter screen installations. Forget about balancing on ladders and cleaning your gutters. Let Bracken Roofing and Gutter screen them for you today. Listen, do not settle for subpar work. Get a free inspection today. Check out their reviews on Facebook. You'll see many satisfied customers, and they're all saying the same thing, that they're happy that they chose Bracken Roofing and Gutter. That's Bracken Roofing and Gutter. Call Kyle today at 864-704-5993. All right, welcome back to the show. I am Dan Scott. Final segment on this Friday, which means technically, I suppose, I should have come back with this. This is a throwback to the old days of the original radio show. We closed every Friday with this. 10:33 and down the stretch we come. Except it would be a lot closer to the top of the hour on most occasions. All right, so you missed Wednesday, or I missed Wednesday, and moving forward, you've got the spectacle, the holidays. Anyway, Christmas is going to wreak havoc with the schedule, as is New Year's, and that is to be expected. But I have some additional stuff going on. I believe I have mentioned this before on the show, but just to kind of give you an idea, give you an update, so you'll know moving forward when we don't have a show when I'm out, you'll have a pretty good idea of why. I think I announced it officially sometime back that after really more than a decade of struggling with trying to get my health under control and losing weight and lost 112 pounds one time and put it back on, lost 161 one time and put it back on, and trying to reboot and restart with various degrees of success. I finally acquiesced and in September entered the program to have weight loss surgery, and we'll have gastric bypass surgery coming up in late January. When we entered the program, I was initially told that, based on all the tests that have to be run and everything they do, plus the surgeon's schedule, that the surgery could be anywhere from mid-December to mid-January. Well, what's happened because of the surgeon's schedule and because of the depth of everything they've done, it's pushed that schedule back, and the surgery right now looks like it's going to be in the last week of January. But just to give you an idea of everything that they do and how in-depth this is, and why I made the decision in September to put Bryant Lambert on the road for basketball and have me only stay with the home games. I am a stickler for consistency on the broadcasts. And when you turn on a broadcast of the Van Wagner Furman Sports Network, I want you to know who you're going to hear and when you're going to hear. When we do football, it's going to be me and David Cobb and Marcus McMorris and Tom Van Hoy. when you do basketball, in the past it's been Brian and I for the home games, Tom and I for the road games, and in baseball, by and large, I have worked by myself most of the time with Tom being there. But when you turn on the radio, if you choose to do so, who you're going to hear. So consistency is a big thing for me. As much as I love my Cincinnati Reds, I get frustrated sometimes because they have so many people and so many moving parts involved with the broadcast that when you turn on the TV or you turn on the radio, you didn't know who was going to be there, because in the last 4 or 5 years, Marty had been taking off 20 or 30 games a year, so that would throw some chaos on the radio side, and then they would shuffle people around on the TV side, moving them back and forth. And I'm just one who likes consistency, and everybody may not be that way. When I turn on the television, if I'm watching a home broadcast, I want to know who I'm going to get. Same thing with radio. I want to know who I'm going to get. So that's why when I first entered the program in September, I made the decision then that, with the blessing of the folks here at Furman, and I got to say, they have been fantastic about this. Aaron Wissing, who was the first point of contact with this, Caleb Furrow, who is the head of our kind of broadcast division here, encompassing video and audio. And then as Jason Donnelly, our new athletic director, got involved more on a daily basis here as he came in, just been fantastic about this with me. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, because it does cause me to miss some things sometimes. The good news is this is not a 9-to-5 job anyway, and I'm able to get everything I need to get done. I'm still putting in all the hours. Sometimes I just work from home, and I have to work around things on the medical schedule. But again, I'm chasing a rabbit trail here. The reason in September I made the decision to take myself off the road for basketball and put Bryant on the road with Tom is because I did not want there to be a massive inconsistency in the broadcasts, not knowing who you were going to get when you turn it on. So by and large, now you know that for home games it's Bryant and I, and for road games it's Bryant and Tom. And some of the home games, once the surgery is done, will be changed up for a couple of weeks while I'm recovering. But for the most part, this is the most consistency that we could give. That's why that decision was made in September, long before basketball season ever tipped off. And to give you an idea, as I try to be as transparent as possible about these things, to get into the program, you don't just walk in one day, say, I want to have weight loss surgery, and they say, sign here, sir, we'll submit it to your insurance, and we'll get you scheduled in a couple of weeks. Doesn't work that way. I'm going through Prisma Health, which is former Greenville Hospital System, and the program is just ridiculous, and I mean that in a good way. Ridiculous from the standpoint that they leave no stone unturned when it comes to your health before you get to the surgery. First thing, there are 10 mandatory classes that you have to take. And you can take most of them online. 3 of them you have to attend in person, and they cover every aspect of the surgery, from a basic Q&A to nutrition to what your life pre-surgery is going to be like in the weeks leading up, what post-surgery is going to be like, the risks of the surgery. I mean, they cover it all and lay it online. So you got to do 10 of those. And with me, because it's stretched into a month, I'll actually have to do one more in-person class later this month to make a total of 11. Then you have to undergo a psychological evaluation, which, believe it or not, I passed. You undergo a nutritional evaluation, and then they begin the litany of other tests. Like 2 weeks ago, I had a chest x-rays and an hour-long, seemingly an hour-long breathing test. Pulmonary clearance is what they call it, to make sure that all of the oxygen I need is getting into my lungs and then being dispersed everywhere it needs to be. Past that one. Last night, they go so deep into this that I actually had to do a sleep study test at home because of the possibility of sleep apnea. I have a cardiology clearance coming up this week or next week where they're going to make sure that my heart is okay and can handle the surgery. In mid-January, they by a matter of routine do an endoscopy. It's taking the tube and going down your throat into your stomach to make sure that there's nothing there that will surprise them when they get to the surgery. And then, guys, I'm speaking directly to you. You're going to love this. Because they found out that I'm late for my post-50 colonoscopy, they're going 2 for 1 that day. And my only request was that they made sure that they used 2 different tubes. And that's all I'll say about that. So we are comfortable in doing the surgery. So I'm telling you all of this, being as transparent as I can, because as things come up and I have to miss shows, I want you to know why. I'm not just skipping out. There are things that are happening that require me to be away. And I'm not letting out any state secrets here because she posted it on her Facebook page yesterday. My wife had cataract surgery on Wednesday. I had to be with her for that. I had to be with her yesterday to take her back to her appointment. She's having it done on the other eye on the 18th. We sat down one day and we took time to put each other's doctor's appointments in our calendars on our phones so we would be totally up to date with where everybody needed to be and when they needed to be there. And I'm like, if this is not an indication that you're getting old, nothing is. I actually wrote it out on the calendar a couple of nights ago, and it's like for the next 2 weeks, every single day there's something. But it's a process that I believe is going to be worth it because I have, first of all, faith that God has opened doors that it looked like were not going to be open for me to do this, number one. Number two, that the folks at Prisma have been doing this for so long now, they know what they're doing. And for me, it's an opportunity to say, you know what? It's finally time to quit messing around and take care of yourself and take care of your health. And I was the kind of person, and let me share this with you because maybe this will ring true with some of you out there. I was the kind of person who said, you know, I put the weight on, so I need to be the one to take it off. And it was kind of a pride thing. And my Sunday school teacher, a man who is one of the greatest spiritual leaders that I've ever had, probably I would put him number 2 behind my dad. A guy that I've studied under for the last 7 years or so and now help facilitate the class, as a matter of fact, once or twice, every 8 weeks or so. But he told me, he said, Dan, those God gave those doctors that skill for a reason. Because he's been on me for a couple of years to have the surgery. He told me this last year. And I was never able to get that out of my mind. So was it pride? I think probably there was. There was a lot of that. Was there fear? Oh, absolutely. Just being as transparent as I can be. And there's still some of that. But as I've gotten through this and going through this, I'm a lot more comfortable about it. Why am I telling you all this? I just want you to know that over the course of the next month and a half, if I'm not here doing this show on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, chances are it means that I'm off doing something else required for the surgery. And then there will be a couple of weeks after the surgery that obviously I'll be laid up a little bit, or so they tell me. I would ask you to, if you are a person of faith, just to pray that things continue to move forward. Pray that the obstacles that Angela and I have to overcome are able to be overcome, including a significant personal financial commitment that has to be met up front before they will do the surgery, something that we're still working on. And just pray above and beyond everything else that God's will is done in this thing. Right now, as I said, he has opened doors for this that it looked like they couldn't be opened. But here we are coming down the home stretch. And I just wanted to spend some time today updating you and letting you know that when I'm not here over the course of the next month and a half, you'll know why. Now, having said all that, I will talk to you again Sunday from Timmons Arena when Furman and USC Upstate get together for basketball here. 2 o'clock, 1:30 will be the tip-off time. And you'll hear that on Fox Sports 1440 and across all of our other platforms, including FurmanPaladins.com and on TuneIn Radio. Just search Furman Sports Network for everything we do live. And it'll also be broadcast on ESPN3. Have a great weekend. Go out and make a positive difference in somebody's life. And we'll see you again Sunday for basketball, Monday, God willing, back here on the show. Until then, I'm Dan Scott saying God bless you. So long, everybody.